Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Eric Rodobois. We are using a new toy that I just bought due to a suggestion by my friend Sebastian Rusk. He said, Eric, you need an O light. I think it's either an O light or a circle light, but basically it allows me to take videos and not look like I'm sitting in the darkness. So here's a true story, and it's kind of crazy. Most of my stories are true stories. Again, one more time, Eric Rodobois, EPGD Business Law. So here's what happened. Lady and her husband have been married for 25 years. Husband owns a business, happens to be from a European country. It's not relevant at all. The lady's from a South American country, not relevant at all. They're living here in Miami and things are great. And they got 2 kids. The kids are grown up or growing up, and they sell a house that they've owned for years and years and years. And they sell the house for $1.8 million. And the wife says, honey, what are we gonna do with all that money? And the husband says, well, why don't we just put it with Merrill Lynch? Why don't we just go find a house that we're gonna rent for a little while? And in the meantime, we'll find either a real estate investment, or maybe we'll do like a pre-construction and we'll have them build our own house, or maybe we will, just wait in the market, wait to buy something. And this is in 2017. So the wife says, okay, fine. Let's go find a house to rent. And we'll put that money in Merrill Lynch and good. So just as an aside, the Merrill Lynch account is a joint account, which means that both of them are on it, which also means that if anything were to happen to one of them, it already belongs to the other one. So you would never need a probate, you would never need to go to court, you don't even have to go give anything to the bank. You just tell them, hey, something happened to my husband, it's a joint account, it's both of our money. And that's kind of the point, it's both of their money. So, and as an aside, it was the marital house. They lived there for 20 years. They contributed to the mortgage together over all those years. And when they sold it, it's indisputable that it's a marital asset. It's money that belongs to both of them. So the wife started noticing throughout 2018 just fishy behavior. You know, like when you've been living with someone for 20 years and you know them, you know their heart, you know their mannerisms, you know the way they act. And for some reason, he would start taking phone calls and disappear. And be like, I gotta go take this. And like he'd go away and she'd be like, wait, what's going on? Is he cheating on me? Is there another woman? Is he having an affair? And so she starts poking around his papers. I'm not gonna get into the right or wrong. I will say this, they were papers in the family home, not under lock and key. They're just his, like maybe he had a desk in one office and she just starts rummaging around the desk. And she finds 3 kind of sketchy looking contracts that anybody who knows anything about contract law would tell you were probably not prepared by a lawyer. Or if they were, they had been once prepared by a lawyer and since bastardized over and over. And there were 2 promissory notes and a joint venture agreement. And so when you look at the promissory notes, they were not witnessed, they were not notarized. And let me get to the point of the story. He lent some kind of sketchy Venezuelan guys who might be doing some illegal mining venture in some South American country $1.85 million on a promissory note with 5% interest. I gotta tell you something. I'm not necessarily against doing loans like that. I'm just saying you gotta raise your interest rate. Like that's barely anything. My line of credit, and I'd like to think reputable businessman, at this bank right upstairs is 5.5%. All right, and I'm only borrowing $200,000. So for 1.85 million, I'm gonna want security, I'm gonna want personal guarantees, I'm gonna want a higher interest rate, I'm gonna want lots of things that if you actually go to a lawyer and have the lawyer talk to you, okay, these are the things we need to protect your investment. Now, I use the word investment, that's wrong. Remember, this is a loan, so a loan is not an investment. A loan is actually an asset. So, here's the thing. The wife is really upset. She is freaking out. And what she realizes is that the money's gone, she doesn't know where it is, and her husband did it behind her back. So I did a couple things. First thing I did is I called a family law attorney. Family law attorney said, listen, sounds like a great reason to get divorced, but it also sounds like unless there was some indication that they were separated, the divorce was imminent, the divorce was already filed, whatever, that's joint money, which means they both have equal access to it. To turn the tables, if she had gone behind her husband's back and gone to the Merrill Lynch account, she could have withdrawn all the money, right? And the Merrill Lynch people would have been within their rights to say, here you are, here's your check. And so, where are we now? She's gonna have a very uncomfortable conversation with her husband, and they're gonna come here, and I'm gonna convince them that we probably need to file a lawsuit against the guys who may or may not have stolen her money. But here's the other thing. They maybe haven't stolen the money, and maybe they're totally within their rights to not have paid him back yet, which means everyone's in a bad spot. So First of all, don't go steal your money behind your wife's back. And second of all, if you're gonna do shady business deals with South American mining ventures with Venezuelans, come to a real lawyer and we're gonna set up some companies, we're gonna do the documents the right way, get witnesses, notaries, etc. All right, thank you everyone. This is Eric Rodobois. Bye.